Yep. Mm-hmm.
Hello there. So,
Hello, chat.
you, Jewel, were explaining that you have to go under the church, but to do so you have to go through the sewers and tunnels and caves and collapsed old tunnels and things. I don't know if you were planning on talking more about that or just heading out and talking on the way, which is entirely reasonable, right?
Probably the going and talking.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine.
Feel free.
And I would be on the look for anything down here, knowing that there's things down here that may be nasty.
You can give me either a perception or survival check for that.
Both are the same. So perception. Oh, hell yeah.
That dirty 20, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys, if your characters want to talk or anything while you're going through the tunnels, nice and lit up by the dancing lights, which is great. I didn't have to give you disadvantage or anything, you know?
Yeah, it is nice. Jewel will say, just like, to Sonata, just, so what exactly are you?
Dude.
Well, I mean, the giveaway.
They call me a Triton. I like the water. It likes me. I call myself a musician.
Fair enough. That's all he needed. He ain't racist. He knows there are other races out there. He just
doesn't know.
Seen
He's just an innocent little sweet boy. So while you're actually walking, these tunnels down here, these are less sewers. You get a little out of the sewers. Sure, they function as the sewers for the castle, but most of that's run off into separate, better maintained pipes because castle matters, even though it's not been used for a long time. It was just built better, you know, than the sewers for the brothels and the crappy little toy houses outside. They are collapsed in on themselves due to age, and you're starting to work your way around them. In many places, plants have regrown, nice little subterranean plants. Not to the extent of Underdark, where it's all mushrooms and things, just, you know, like vines and even some ferns where there might be a crack. There might even be the occasional sewer cat running around being a floof. But it's while you're going, and it's mostly a straight path. Because it's one of those things where you're wandering around in sewers, if you wander off, you don't know if you can get back, you know? Just keep that in mind if you want to veer off the path. When you're walking, and Jewel is probably in head, right? Walking in front of a group.
I'd imagine he probably would be leading.
Yeah. You notice...
doesn't really trust either of them to lead yet.
You got dancing lights. You notice the kind of bluish color of the dancing lights shimmering. You notice the blue colors of dancing lights shimmering in the air before you, where the tunnel sort of sits, and you can tell that there's something there. You look a little closer and you can see kind of the occasional copper coin, a little stripped of its lacquer, sort of floating, and looks like an animal skull of some sort of, you know, raccoon or something they got down here, just sort of floating in the sort of tunnel here. Now, the tunnels here are fairly wide. They're usually around 10 feet wide. Lower than that, but around 10 feet wide. No. When they're not completely collapsed. But that's enough that you notice this enough to, like, stop and take a closer look.
What?
Floating in the air?
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Oh, out of character, I know what this is. In character, no fucking clue.
As you get closer, because imagine you have a dance light sort of around your head. There's a
you might.
Almost like a shimmery sort of field of vision, like you're looking at kind of the top of water or something when the light hits it just right, like a kind of square in front of you.
Gonna grab is there a rock nearby?
Yeah, absolutely.
On the edge, just grab one of the rocks and just.
It jiggles, and then it goes like a little bit in. And then just stops. And like ballistic gel, kind of the bubbles cement in it and then starts to slowly cover back over. And that's where you hear the noise of it. It's not the kind of monster that roars or anything. You just hear the noise as it clearly had been adesed to all the walls and just kind of like sucks itself off all the walls and starts slurping its way forward. Hey, why don't you guys roll me initiative real quick?
Yep. I mean, I'm also going to do this while rolling initiative.
Absolutely. As a standoff, you start the combat encounter, and you're not surprised you have a ranged weapon
This is
equipped.
the character that I roll a 20 on initiative. Oh my god.
That is hilarious. Really hilarious. I find it funny.
And I'll go and roll initiative.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I didn't... you don't have proper tokens. If you could, like...
Oh, I thought I did.
Yeah,
Click on it, my bad.
Yeah, click on it, re-roll, and change that. Do you know how to do that, Doxy?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I need to give you a generic...
Oh, come on!
Are you shitting me?
Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck? The game knows.
That is very fun.
Infuriating is what that is.
Beautiful. Just beautiful.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Hey, Ollie, quick question. Do my instruments work underwater?
Yours would, yeah. You absolutely would have a harp that's designed to work underwater.
Okay. And it works above the ground too, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Or
yeah.
above the water.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's a very valid question, actually.
So, yeah.
Doxy wins Good Question Award right now.
As it starts moving forward, I just... Oh, fuck!
Yeah, exactly. You jump
and move
backwards and shoot. Did you roll
Yeah.
those attacks? You did.
Yes, I did.
You did.
6 and 5. Well, does 17 and 16 hit?
Yeah.
Good. 6 and 5.
It's not defending itself. 6 and
Yeah,
5.
I know what this bad boy is, and I'm not looking forward to it.
Okay, so with that, Volvarin, you may have noticed and figured out what this is before Jewel did. Like when you stopped, you might have been like, swamp beastie underground or some such thought. So it's your turn first. You're casting Infestation. You know what I can actually... You know what I can do? Galaxy Brain. We can have a really shitty turn order here. Where there's usually a face. It's terrible because it's, like, all glitched out, but it'll do.
I don't know what this thing is personally. So, you know.
It absolutely saves. Does it do anything if it saves? No,
I don't believe so.
Cantrips is usually not. So it's one of those things. What do you do?
Volvarin almost seems like he is coughing, and just like he kind of keels over a little bit and coughs a little bit, and then kind of just gets up and coughs in the direction of the beastie. And from his cough, you see small little black insects lurch forward out of his mouth and towards that beast.
You noted, and Joel, everyone sees. It's well lit. You're right there. They all just kind of fly into the side of this thing and each get stuck. And then they start wiggling like they've been stuck in like fly paper, and it's even grosser. And some of them just start dispelling into like ash and dust, and it's even and like it's just it's horrible. It's gross.
Well, this might give you a hint to what it is if your character
My internet
knows what it is. Oh fuck!
You're back.
Back? You're back?
Yeah, you're back.
Is it cube shaped, Ollie?
I'll describe it on its turn, but first of all, we have Sonada's turn. Unless you want to run away.
I am backing up, but I'm not running away. I'm clearly like backing up slowly and not moving fully back.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do I understand this creature?
It isn't making any intelligible noises you can work out. Doesn't have a face.
Okay.
You can't see eyes.
Well then, she just looks at it and goes, ugh!
So cutting words is a reaction you do when it is attacking someone.
Oh no! Okay, I didn't know that.
There's
That's my bad.
there's another thing that you're probably...
There's another thing you might be thinking of. Do you even have that?
It's vicious
No, you didn't take
mockery,
it.
isn't it?
Yeah, you didn't take the.
or
That is the
Dissonant
one.
Whispers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just Dissonant Whispers.
Dissonant Whispers or Vicious Mockery kind of go hand in hand in that sense.
Okay, well, she still does that.
She
Yeah.
still goes.
Just, that is a reaction. But this was a reaction.
Yeah.
Do you want to do anything else?
I will.
Right now, you're behind Jewel. Jewel is the closest to the wee beastie, which is not actually a beastie. Just so you know.
Okay, I will look to him and say, "I need you to move soon," and that's my turn.
Okay.
Okay.
Next up is this thing. It lurches forward. And it's one of those things where Jewel is sort of tumbled back to shoot those things, right? And it lurches through to you. Hey, why don't you give me a dexterity save, Jewel?
Oh, I will happily give a dexterity save.
You manage to get back up and jump away as you feel it sticking to the back of your trousers. You nearly lose a boot. It is incredibly sticky, but you just managed to outrun it. You can even, now that it's moving, you can see that yes, it is very much not a perfect cube shape, but definitely a cube shape, wiggling and moving. It's got almost stones and pebbles and sand stuck to the sides of it where it was stuck to the walls and where it's moving over the ground right now. But yeah, it tries to suck you up, but doesn't.
Nope. No, thank you. Nope.
Next up is your turn. And with that movement, it moved into your space, Joel, and you essentially moved back into where Sonata is. So you guys are side by side right now.
Yep. Okay. Well, time to move, and then I can roll back.
I need you to move, and then he just rolls away from you, leaving you right next to this thing.
Oh.
I knew I should have given
Hey,
you Bardic.
hey, Tesh.
Yeah.
Both of those hit.
Oh my god.
It is a 10-foot big wall of slime, making no attempt to dodge you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just sloughing forward.
And then I'm
Sticky
going
and
to
oozing.
jump back. I'm going to jump back another 10 feet so I can assist if needed, but also because, nope, that thing is.
It's even more unsettling. It's not making any kind of growling or anything. It's
just moving towards us.
yeah. Wolverine.
I've continued to back up and kind of not very happy with this situation basically at all.
Old man grumpy face.
Old man is very grumpy. He's not saying anything, but he just is not pleased at all whatsoever. But he coughs again, and he goes for it again.
It appears to have no effect. Just the
Yeah.
bugs stick into it again.
Yeah.
You even try to get it while it's moving, and it's almost all the parts separate, but they don't get very far in.
Fair enough.
Sonata, you are 5 foot away from this creature. You are
Right,
in base contact, so if you try to run away, it will get an opportunity attack unless you disengage or do some special abilities.
I'm going to use Gust of Wind.
Yes! Alright, clear key.
Ooh.
That is
So-
what I'm going to do.
Strength saving throw.
Okay.
It very
That-
much fails.
Okay.
So, what happens? Do you have any sort of special fancy description for how you cast this spell? Or?
Why, I do. So she has a little drum on her as well. She just it's hanging off of her belt.
I was
It's
totally
a
imagining
little
that.
bitty drum.
Yeah.
She just kind of taps on it with her fingers, and I know that it's wind, but it looks like a wave of
Absolutely.
water,
Yeah.
and
Super cool with
and you can hear it being wind, but it's as it rushes forth from just in front of her, you see bubbles in the air, and it looks like just a rush, like a wave of water, like a tsunami
Absolutely.
wave of water.
And you push this thing back 50, actually back where it started, and it kind of tumbles, and the whole thing switches sides in the air as it kind of hits the ceiling and slides against it and scrapes against it, leaving this horrible kind of slightly teal goo on the ceiling when it kind of squishes and lands again. And the thing about Gust of Wind is it's not just whoosh, it's still going. It's still a tunnel of wind that you've created from you towards the thing.
Mm-hmm. It's concentration, so I can't do anything else.
You can't cast other spells while you're doing it. You can move away now if you wanted to.
Can I do Bardic Inspiration and it would be fine?
Yeah, you can cast Bardic Inspiration while you're concentrating.
Sweet. And I would then just pluck a couple strings on the harp and smile over at Jewel.
Yeah.
Hey.
Absolutely smile as you just knocks the beast away.
And be like, that's our one.
Damn.
Use it.
Also, I want to apologize. I reread Duck and Roll. I would have only gotten my main hand attack off on it, so 1 damage did not happen.
That's fair. You know what? +1 health. Thank you, Ted.
I just reread it and realized that it takes the bonus action to do Duck and Roll.
Yeah.
So I can't fire.
I'm big on bonus action economy for my homebrews, because otherwise they just don't get used. So as the slime kind of hits the ground again, it's almost like almost digs itself in the old worn cobblestones where hundreds of years of water have eroded them down into these crevasses in the ground, and it's starting to inch its way up against the wind, but it's gonna take quite a little while if the concentration stays up to get right back to where Sonata is. Joel.
In that case, I'm just gonna move up to the very edge of like the wind and just try and see what happens if I fire. I'm gonna just do main hand first, just fire into like the wind at it and see what happens.
Hey, anyone remember yesterday when I said I needed to reset my internet? Guess what I didn't do? Didn't do that.
You can do it on the next break.
Okay, so the bolt actually does get there, or
yeah,
cool.
There's another spell that stops ranged weapons ranged attacks going through it, but that's like a higher level thing.
When he sees that, he's gonna fire the other one as well.
Yep, both hit.
One. There's the one.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely fine.
The damage is back.
Yeah. You just shoot away at the big old thing as it's trying to slough its way. And when it first started going towards you, it was just kind of a lumbering shape. Now it's almost aggressive. You never thought a cube could look angry, but it does. Speaking of, Volvarin, he angry.
Yeah. He's grumpy. Very grumpy. Because he knows that he's not really doing too much here. And he won't be really doing too much here. Yeah. Nope. We're going to back up and just keep backing away a little bit.
No, I will add, just to describe the scene a little more, there's enough room, now that it's out of its little trap, to get around the side of it if you so wished. And even get behind it if it moved forward enough, but now it's kind of not that far forward. Just so you know.
Now, you know what? Then what I'll do is I'll stay where I am. And if it moves up further, I will then move behind it. But
okay.
Yeah.
You could do that as a reaction if you wanted.
Sure. Yeah, let's do that.
Cool. Sonata. Sorry, I started your turn just as you took a mouthful.
That's okay.
I hate that when I'm about to eat I'm eating something and someone's like, "Oh, can I do this, Ollie?" And I'm like,
Man.
So right now, seeing as you as show it, you're concentrating on this spell. That's absolutely fine. That's not a concentration spell.
Oh, it isn't. Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah. Wisdom saving throw.
Oh, I can't do it.
Do you not have enough
Why?
spell slots?
I don't.
You used your 1 level 2. Alrighty.
Mm-hmm.
My
Some-
2 level 2s.
Yeah.
I used Lesser Restoration and
True stories.
Gust of Wind. Damn.
True story.
Ah, golly, there's not
Excuse me?
really a lot I can do.
Hey guys, my Zoom is. There we go.
Everything
We were talking-
fine?
Yeah, no, but it'll do.
Okay. All right.
It's okay. It's just a birthday shit show stream. Don't worry about it.
Uh-huh.
Happy birthday, Ollie.
Wait,
I'm so sorry. I'm just looking at options.
No,
here.
feel free.
but this wind wall is amazing, so don't worry.
Yeah, she's just concentrating really hard on that. That's really
absolutely okay. Next up is it. It is going to see if it can push past the wind wall. This time it does. It's not pushed back, but it still has to push against it to get closer. So it does. It spends its entire turn getting right up to in front of Jewel and Sonata, pushing back against the wind, but getting right next to you, but not attacking. At which point Volvarin can skid around.
Sneak around.
Yeah.
Shuffle. So it's the old man shuffle. His head's down. He just.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna take my head and put it up my ass.
I
But
believe
next up, Jill's turn.
So my brain stopped for a second there.
Oh God.
So it's
The real boss is my internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
so I'm right up next to it. You said.
It is 5 feet. It is in melee contact with you. Yes.
Okay, well I gotta duck and roll away because I can't. I don't want to get disadvantage. And I'm gonna hand cross it. All right.
Mm-hmm. This
I
thing
will
is
take
just
that.
taking a punishment of damage. It is
One side of
definitely
it's just got a
lower. Yeah.
bunch of
Well, now it twisted, so now the crossbows
Oh,
are on a
yeah.
different side. But it definitely seems to be slowly lowering consistency and lagging. That's your turn.
How
'cause
the
you just
hell
jumped
do we
away.
stop this
So
thing?
next up is Volvarin. You just run around to the side of it, or behind it, up to you.
Behind it. Definitely behind it.
Hey, let me just check something real quick. That's okay. No, if you stopped beside it and walk around behind it, you won't get gust of winded.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
the plan.
yeah.
I'm using it as a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Totally. 100% planned.
You just gotta hope it doesn't fail at check and then just.
That is very something that can happen. So what are you doing behind there, back there? And the funny thing is, it's transparent. You can see him. There he is.
You're gonna see me poke it.
with advantage.
With advantage.
Yeah. I'm just
yeah.
actually gonna double check something as well before I do.
I don't know if my internet's going to have time for that.
Well, you know.
I've already used my allocated bandwidth.
Right. Fair. Well, don't worry about it. I am going to poke it in the behind.
Oh, in the behind? Which side is the behind?
You know. The
What do you
behind.
know? I'm the best.
Yeah.
Gelatinous cube just suddenly
That's
forms
a
a
hit.
butt.
Sorry, I was just closing like random
That's okay.
tabs and something was just like, "You haven't saved." I'm like, I never opened you. Now I'm worried. I may just deleted something important. Who knows?
So I kind of like what you'd see is he'd just kind of like press his fingers against it very lightly, and then like as he's like suctioning them away, electricity will just flow through.
Yeah,
out
and
of his fingers as he's pulling it
the
away.
cube will flash from the inside as that happens, and you see some of the things inside it like start to fry, and it definitely stops, like almost wiggling and vibrating in, maybe not pain, but in recognition that that's happening to it. Sonata, it is right in front of you, being electrocuted. It is in your gust of wind still.
Did I see any kind of core to this thing?
It turtles all the way down. It's just
Fully
transparent.
transparent.
Fully
Okay.
transparent. There's stuff in it, but not like, a brain or anything. It's just an ooze. It's just a slime creature.
All right, I'm gonna reach out with my dagger.
Mm.
Give her a little poke.
That's a hit.
Yeah, no.
Sweet
This
bean.
turn will be the interesting one.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's the best I can do.
No, I mean,
so I'm
it's-
pretty stoked about it.
Take it.
Oh no, that's
If
great.
that's like 4 damage on a dagger attack at level 3, like, take that.
Mhm.
If you weren't fighting a literal wall of slime,
Uh,
which is then
Also-
immediately.
For my bonus action, I will pluck my strings, and now Vol also has.
How many inspirations do you have left?
I didn't know that it was.
You
I thought
have
it was
a
just
limit.
bonus action.
No, there is an amount. There's an
Okay.
amount on your character sheet.
So
And
I've
I
had
was
one.
asking. Oh no, there
You
isn't.
had
It didn't
two.
fit out properly. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. A number of times equal to your charisma modifier.
That's one.
That's 1. So you don't get a bardic inspiration.
Okay.
I'll just. Oh dear.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just remove that one then, because I assume I've already got one today.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't get this extra one.
That's okay.
Dang. Sonata
Um,
need a rest, boys.
So it is going to make it save against Gust of Wind. It fails its save against Gust of Wind. There's someone directly behind it who has to make a dexterity save.
Oh no.
Um,
Oh, he good.
Oh,
He good.
old
Oh,
man.
man.
Old
This
man, take a look at my life.
He is as dexterous as me, and that's creepy.
Yeah,
Just
like surprising movement from him.
like a cat jumping really suddenly.
I imagine he just like presses himself up against the wall.
Yeah, and
like,
it goes
with very quick speed.
And it spins and tumbles again as it's launched back where it started, and then starts pushing its way out quite slowly. And it seems to be misshapen now. Almost like parts of it are stretching out like an old bad CGI villain in a kids' TV show like in the 2000s, right?
Flubber.
And I don't know if Flubber was a villain, but
Flubber was definitely a villain. What else was Flubber?
If you
not-
watch the same movie I did,
Yeah, come on.
obviously.
Flubber is a movie I have to rewatch with the guise of adulthood because
Yes.
it's going to be entirely different.
100% a villain.
But some of those parts stretching out start grabbing and reaching for Volvarin, whose armor class is 14, and I
is.
hit that.
Oh no. Oh no. It finally did the scary thing.
Oh yeah, like I'm probably going down. Don't worry about it.
And deals 12 acid damage to you.
I
as it
am down.
grips you and just starts burning and just starts. It almost looks like it's about to like absorb him when he just collapses against the wall. Jill.
Oh fuck. Double crossbow.
I can do things again now.
Well, that's nice.
Both
Hey!
hit. One's a crit.
And the good ones are crit too.
That's true. That's
That's hype.
actually a
A very
blessing
fair point.
in a guise. Hey, Volvarin, make me a death save.
Sure. Nope.
Oh, come on!
It sat on a 4, then an 18, then a 2.
Really?
Really?
And it sat on 18 for like a good second and a half before
Like it
rolling
was sitting there and it was just like edging over. Unfortunately, it didn't edge long enough.
That's always my problem. Just
Yeah.
too greedy.
I know, right?
Sonata.
So he's dead.
He's dying.
No, dying.
He's dying.
Okay.
Two
He
more
is.
shots.
He's collapsed, and it looks
Okay.
like the
Don't
thing
worry.
is absorbing.
I have other characters if need be. It's fine.
Do you?
Yeah, I could probably come up with one.
Sonata, what
Well,
do you do?
You now have 2 heals, and
Hey,
the wind is not going anymore.
Healing word is not concentration.
It's not?
No.
Oh,
Yeah, the
I'm-
wind's
okay.
still blowing.
He says,
Yeah.
"Get up!"
It's getting he up and that death save's cleared, isn't it? So he up.
Yeah, to clear,
He goes,
Well,
resets
I'm
death
not
saves.
up. vertically.
No, you're still being nom-nommed.
You're still being...
Yeah.
All right, that's sweet. Do you want to move away from where it's probably gonna chase again?
Yes, I will back up.
Cool. It is gonna try and move into your space, Volvarin. Oh no! Give me a strength save real quick. What's your spell save DC, Doxy?
I would love to tell you this information.
It's on the spells page.
At the top.
It is 11.
It fails. So it's one of the things. It's like grabbing at Volvarin and against the wind, and it just goes. And it's at that point, because it's going back to where it kind of was nesting. It's smaller. It's much smaller now. And
I'm just imagining bits of it like just going in the wind as it's like trying to hold on.
Yeah. But it can push back up and make another attack against Volvarin in the same turn.
Oh no.
Which does not hit. Just.
Bless.
Jill.
Okay, well this thing needs to die, so he's just gonna shoot it again. This thing fucking won't die. Oh my god.
He's pissed.
He's pissed.
Oh, he's pissed.
He mad.
You
go, this thing fucking won't die. You shoot these bolts into it. It stops. Just goo in the wind that just splatters down the hallway.
Oh. Right then.
I will, if I may, cast Healing Word one more time.
I don't do it. Don't bother. Don't bother. It's fine. Don't worry.
You're gonna camp out in the little sewers?
Well,
Definitely gonna need to.
Okay, sure. I was gonna do something. You know, that's cool. That's like, I mean, what I'm doing is wasteful technically, so it's fine. Camping's probably smarter.
Well, if you want to try and camp down here, feel free to give me a survival roll. Whoever wants to do that.
I have probably done this before. Like, straight up, Volvarin has probably stayed in these sewers before.
Can I have some sort of narrative advantage since I am a water person?
Because this isn't really the watery part of the sewers anymore. If it were an underwater cave, yes. This is sewer tunnels.
Okay.
Okay. Out of character for a moment, I have a +4 survival. So that's why I'm also suggesting that I would do it. But also just, I have a feeling, narratively, Volvarin has stayed in these sewers before. Probably.
Yeah. You get an advantage, because you very much have.
If he pipes out and says that, then Jewel will reluctantly follow him. Oh my god!
Thank you for that.
Ollie's just...
No, he's very at home in these sewers. I have a little camp set up down the way.
You literally, it's like, don't worry about it. And he starts limping. And you actually go backwards a bit. You might be like, what are you doing? A little bit out of these old castle tunnels. And a bit of a false wall. There's kind of a bit of
before
canvas.
we go, I want to loot the shit out of the slime.
You should do that.
I would like to.
Sure.
So,
all right, I would actually help with that, if I'm honest.
No, exactly. You do that before you go.
Yeah.
There's a spattering of gold, a good 20 gold pieces, but also a dagger in a sheath that's attached to a skeleton's hand. When you, of course, you're like, and unsheath it, there's a almost swirly kind of serpenty design on it that just glows when you open the sheath. Just not enough to cast like light on you, but just like, ooh.
Pretty.
Yeah.
Huh.
So mine?
Not really my style.
No, mine. I mean, I got these if I need them, but prefer these.
Can anyone identify why it's like that?
You look at the magic user.
Yeah, nobles like making their stuff fancy, I don't know.
Not really my area of expertise.
Oh, yeah.
Can I like roll an investigation to see
You
if
can
I
roll
can
an
tell
Arcana
what's
check.
going on? Okay. Ooh.
Shit's magic, yo.
Let me have a look at it.
Imagine
I pass it over
this
to
will
him.
go on while you get back to the camp. And yes, as you said, Will, literally in a little duckaway in these sewers is a little camp that you've made before. Quite comfortable for one, a little tight for three, but that's okay. You go immediately just like, I left a little bit of stew here, you know, and start settling down to rest up. Well, Aaron, you can tell it's a fairly standard enchantment in some places in the world. Enchantment isn't very standard in this place in the world, but travelers often come around with this sort of thing. And a knife enchanted in this way is common enough that you would have seen it before. It is a +1 magic dagger. So +1 attack, +1 defense, and is magical.
Okay. Will that be in the compendium?
You can just add a magic bonus to your dagger attack.
Okay.
I think it
Yeah,
is in
no.
the compendium, though.
It should
Just in
be, but
case.
also you can just add it.
You can just do that though.
Yeah.
Is the dagger +1? Is that it?
Yep.
Sweet.
Cool. So you can start resting up. Do you want to take a long rest or a short rest?
Okay, so before we make that decision, I have a thing. I have the Song of Rest, beginning at 2nd level. If you can read it.
If you take a short rest, you heal an extra d6.
Oh, damn.
So we can do that, but I don't think that I get any of my magic back, which I would like to have.
This place is comfortable enough for the night.
And we have rations.
And you
and
healed
by
him.
the way, and she hands 7 gold to each of them. She only keeps 6 for herself. Feeling a little guilty that these guys are saving her life, and she didn't
I'm
do anything about the
Gonna
airport
hand
before.
it directly back to you. I don't need that.
I'll take his share if he's not having it.
Yeah, she gives you 4 of it back, and
Yeah.
keeps another 3.
Okay. Yeah. So if we are setting up camp for the night, you guys might hear occasionally, just as well when he's off on his own or slightly like resting and that sort of thing, you hear Jewel muttering to himself, saying something, can't quite hear. I don't think anyone has the right language.
What
I wouldn't
language is it?
imagine. It's fiendish.
Definitely not.
No.
Nope.
Well,
you have
Baron,
no idea.
You're
Only-
weird, so it could happen.
No.
Yeah,
Look.
I was thinking if anyone was going to have it, it would be Vol. But yeah, so he starts to muttering that, and if Ollie, if you allow me, if either of them are paying close enough attention, I have an idea for a perception check.
Oh,
For if
okay.
they notice
You guys
a
do
specific
perception, and Tesh can tell you whether it's good enough or not.
Yep.
I don't give a shit. Tesh the DM now.
I just had this
No,
like
it's a
they
good
catch
idea.
it. Oh, you definitely catch. You hear you hear like a non-fiendish word, and you hear Tom in that.
Tom.
Well, Varen wouldn't care.
I just
is
want to
the
know
thing.
if she knows.
Nope.
Yeah.
He just muttering around in one of the many languages you don't understand on the surface world. Sounds particularly harsh and ugly, though. I mean, some of them are pretty ugly up here. The ones with the long beards, their language is like fucking bricks hitting a wall. But
Yep.
all right. So, anything else you want to do while you're resting? What is the order of your watches, if you're going to have watches?
Sonata would watch first so that she could play music for them to fall asleep to.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
I would take probably second watch. Let
I'll take
our-
last watch.
Let our
Cool.
person with the good eyes.
Take the last morning watch.
So, anything else you want to do while you're resting, while you're eating, or anything like that?
I'm
Quick.
kind of prepping some, like, you'll see me fidgeting with fabric again and with other things, and you actually may also see me fiddling with wood and scraping off and carving some wood as well.
There's like a root of a tree that kind of gnarls into this area and like snap pits off.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm like making what appears to be like parts almost for like a small doll, but like a wooden one, not a mesh one like I did before. Yeah.
You'll see Jewel will be taking his hand crossbows and getting out his vials of holy water and sort of saying a little prayer over it and sprinkling it over the crossbows.
Sonata will name her new dagger Serpent Slay.
Ooh.
Ooh. I like it.
So it's actually when you're keeping watch, Vol. You know this is a perfectly safe place. Sometimes maybe an animal could find it, but you particularly designed it so that people can't find it. In the way that it kind of is hidden in a little bit of a trick of the light. Quite proud of yourself in your younger, more keener years when you're running into town to do things. A lot of kobolds around. They mostly work at night, even though they live underground. They seem to be banding together again. Usually one of them gets smart or stupid enough to band all the others around. The ugly little tiny draconoid creatures, never really more than 3 feet tall, are banding together and hunting for things, and you see that they have a really big amount of rats on like spits that they're like trying to take back home. And from the direction you're going, a swarm of rats just overcomes this group of kobolds. And at first they're like, and then they just like go in to attack them, and they like the kobolds get eaten alive. Gone.
Interesting.
But you all sleep quite well. In a little dark little place that honestly not too different to the prison cell you may have woken up in today. It's actually not raining next day. You can tell because you can't hear the constant drum beat of the rain on the ground above, and there's less water trickling down here. Although it's one of those places, it's constantly damp, which is quite good for the Triton in your party. But yeah, it's quiet down here mostly. You gonna get back on the job?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's nothing else happens for the night. Good.
Do you? Yeah, that's what I was saying. You woke up.
Yeah.
So,
okay. My bad.
Wolverine is going to take the small wooden toy that he made, and it's in the shape of a person, and he's going to hand it to Jewel, and say,
"Okay.
For your sharpshooting, I call him Tom." And he's going to turn away.
And just start shuffling off in the direction you need to go.
Yeah.
You might actually hear him look off to the side and say something in Fiendish as he puts it in his pocket.
Cool. Hey, why don't you give me a perception check, Joel, as you're leading and searching the area. Going
Dancing lights, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good. Very good.
I'll take it.
So as you're traveling, when you get beyond the area where the slime was, and the rain over the night washed away pretty much any trace of it other than the skulls and like the occasional weapon that was left in there.
Are there any spare just daggers lying around that are in decent condition, by the way?
She took the dagger.
You can have my old...
You can have the old dagger. There's also a decent hand axe.
I don't want that. I wouldn't know it. I wouldn't know what to do with it.
She would have offered the other dagger.
I probably would actually take that. That's probably what I would have actually been carving the wood with.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to be using that as a wood carving dagger. That's really all it's for, but it's more to, you know.
I was like, oh, I need a dagger. Oh, here's one. And it starts blunting it on the wood. And
I would actually sharpen it again,
but
though.
Sonata wouldn't care. Other characters, maybe. She doesn't give a shit.
I would immediately start taking care of it after, though, because I do need it to be in sharp carving condition at all times.
In a fantasy world like this, it's actually in medieval Europe, everyone has an eating knife. Or just you need it, like, cut ropes, eating, fixing clothes. Like, you need a knife for so much mundane stuff that is glossed over most of the time. You just need a good knife.
Like, knives aren't even thought of as weapons.
No, exactly. They're just...
Like, they are just tools.
Utensil, yeah.
Killing somebody with a knife is equivalent to killing somebody with a screwdriver today. you know, or like your keys or something.
And yeah.
The area you're starting to travel in the collapsed tunnels, actually, you notice, you come across an area that is particularly collapsed. One of the things where you can't just walk through. You might have to crawl your way through or have someone strong push things out of the way. It's just chunks of rocks all fallen in. It looks pretty recent, actually. Unlike a lot of the cave-ins, it's like, this has fallen apart over hundreds of years. This is fairly recent. And when you kind of get up to it, Jewel, and peer your eyes through areas where you can see through the cracks in the rocks, you can actually see another one of those were-rats on the other side, in an area that looks like it may have been co-opted by the castle to be a little bit of a storeroom. You see a couple of old, nasty barrels that are water-damaged and things, and the were-rat is just kind of sitting there, playing with a candlelight. He's doing the, like... like, goes and grabs a grub off the wall and just eats it, like... He's out there. But he's actually quite a bit away from where you'd have to break open the wall. He'd probably hear you or see you, though. Depends how good you are.
Yep.
I could make him not see us.
That would be very useful. How, though?
Kabam! She doesn't even say anything. Just casts it.
So, let me describe again. There's currently a collapsed wall between you and him. As well.
Okay.
So he can't see you now anyway. It's when you collapse the wall to get past it, he'll see you.
All right, I prepare this action for once the...
Absolutely. It's a great idea. I just needed to point out you don't want to do it yet.
The specifics of it need to be explored.
I was, to be fair, I was
you were excited
messaging Honeybee to bring me vape sauce.
It's your sauce.
My vape sauce.
Cool. So she seems to have a little bit of a plan.
Okay, I'm going to start trying to... I would still carefully be taking him down to try and...
if you want to try and make no noise, it's athletics with disadvantage.
Yep, and the second he notices, that's when I'm just fucking shoulder. Just
okay,
without...
Yeah, okay, I get
so
you.
I'm going to go carefully, but the second he notices, I'm just, shouldering it.
Can I help him with sleight of hand? Is that a thing? Like, it's a complicated question, I guess. Because what I'm asking is, can I help get the things in a place slightly so that he can then use it easier to make it more smooth for him to remove rocks?
That's not really sleight of hand's business, unfortunately. This is much more, you have to brute force it open with strength. Oh, yeah, actually... No, I get what you're trying to say. You're basically trying to
I'm trying to do
Pathfinder archaeology and engineering it, essentially, right?
Sure.
You're trying to make it collapse in an easier way for him by being precise. Do a sleight of hand roll now before he does anything.
Okie dokie.
I'm gonna allow it. It's a good roll. He starts preparing it. You can give me your athletics roll. And then
at disadvantage?
No, just straight right now.
Oh, straight.
He gave you a great time.
Oh, god damn it!
All that prep for nothing.
Fuck.
I feel like now is the time that I would use the fog cloud.
So the fun thing is you can cast it any way you can see. So you can
just
cast it on the other side.
Yeah.
So he's like, what's
I
that?
don't want to put it just on the rat so that he gets confused.
Yeah, exactly. You can even, the fog will even seep through the rock slightly, so you can just, you hear him like, what's going on? You can hear him patter up the stairs nearby.
Okay.
Which means you can then athletics with advantage because people helping and time. You have a little more time.
Me?
Okay.
No.
Tesh, but you're all helping at this point, I would imagine.
We're all doing the wall, but I'm doing the roll.
Yeah.
That was. I don't know what I just said.
It takes quite a bit of time.
Not strong.
It's not
people.
clean. You're not strong people. You don't even have to break enough to walk through. Just enough to squeeze through, and even then, it's not comfortable. But you get through to the other side, and that were-rat is not still there. The
Did
scene
he
on the
leave
side-
any hair in the room by any chance?
You can give me a perception or investigation check. Like I said, there's a couple of storage things here, and the crappy little stairwell that opens up, he did. Goes into what I mentioned as the underlayer, the sub-level of the church. So you're actually you're in basement 2 right now, which is just crap. It's just shit. Whereas you can actually see up the stairs, you can see torchlights on the walls, a little bit of effort in the layer above. Literally, it looks like a wall has kind of collapsed into this area, which was meant to be a secret tunnel. I just like, we need to store stuff.
Can I see if I can hear what's going on upstairs? Because I know he went upstairs.
You can also give me a perception check. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's not too bad, but I saw the 1 and thought it was the 1 for a second.
You can't... It's actually eerily quiet, aside from the dripping of the moisture in the room and Volvarin, like, stitching together something, needles clicking.
Yeah, there is some needles clicking going on that just almost unsettling sounding.
Yeah. This building, its castle's so big, the sound is kind of absorbed by all the thick old stone.
I'm gonna stealthily just sort of peek around the staircase, around the corner, like if there's like a door around a little bit into the door. Sort of
There's a kind of a doorway, but if you want to stealth your way into the basement, feel free.
Yeah, I don't want to go all the way in yet. I just want to see what I can see.
I get you. It's still a stealth roll.
In. Oh yeah. Just letting you know before I end up right next to something.
Absolutely, you're going low and slow.
Yes.
Just the way we like it. That's actually really good, because you start sneakily, and I imagine you even do the going forward, like, whether either of these people understand the hand motions. You make your way up the stairs, the fog past your face, making you almost seem blurry to the people on the other side. Like I said, the basement here is actually very well constructed. Left in a bad condition, but just when you make something well, it just holds up well. It's a little damp, but that's because of the rain before. There's wooden rafters and spider webs, obviously, but there's mostly used for storage, and it seems like accessories for the church, like spare pews are just left up by the side and things. You start slowly sneaking your way around where you can see straight up a much nicer stairwell that leads up to the church. You can almost see, and as a holy man of Pyth yourself, or at least someone who practices, you can see the sunlight coming from, like, beaming down the stairwell, and it kind of gives you a little well of faith, you know? You actually see one of those were-rats basically standing at the stairs. He has a sword in his hands, rusty and gnarled, but doesn't seem to care. And he's rubbing a black eye, and he's like, I'll find them. I'll find the intruders. Yeah.
Did he run into a wall?
It looks like he's keeping watch.
Yeah. I'll go from my hand. Will go from that to just.
Then in that case, once I see that, I have been doing something again. Surprise, surprise.
You've been weaving an effigy of this were-rat, yeah.
Of this were-rat. And so I am going to stab it. Mostly just to confuse him.
Yeah.
Because the intention...
Use the stab roll.
The intention is so that he... if there's any other were-rats...
Yeah.
He looks crazy. He looks like he's just lost his mind.
You know what? Can you give me a performance roll?
Oh, that is a terrible plan, but I sure. By the way, does that hit?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll do the.
They don't have armor, and they're human enough. Yeah, right. You know.
Fair enough.
Fucking damn.
Yeah, that's actually really good.
Yeah, performance is like.
It's one of those things where you can't even see him, Vol. You're like so far back. You're not even in the basement level. Neither you or Sinatra are.
Mm-hmm.
But you can Joel, as he is illuminated in the light of the stairs, you see him just go, and he kind of barks up the stairs like, I'm being attacked! I'm being attacked! And you see another one come down. This one's a woman. Long, like, just knotted and gnarled hair that... Oh, there's actually a rat in her hair. That she kind of pets as she comes down. It's like... And she rolls perception. There's no one down here. If there were humans here, we would smell them. Our curse blesses us with a nose beyond a man. So you stop making up stories, or the Lord will bite your head off. And the one at the bottom of the stairs is like, yeah, okay, I'm fine.
I'm gonna stab the effigy again.
Yeah, because you could hear that. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh!
He actually like falls to the ground and starts like twitching and convulsing.
And again, this is meant to make him look
And
crazy.
the one on the stairs just like shakes her head and is like, you, pathetic. What, you want extra cut, extra rations, extra man meat? No, you stay down. You know what? And you see her go up the stairs out of sight, and you hear a heavy door close, and the closing of what sounds like some kind of just a large lock, like.
Well, fuck.
And at this point, because of that crit, the were-rat is still like on the ground, like holding his back, like no, it's real, it's real.
I'm gonna stealthily move into the room, just still sort of moving around the back and the sides.
Can I stab him again?
Yeah.
Yeah, good, great.
I'm waiting for him to like figure out what's going on. Like that's
Right now with that crit, he was just in too much pain. Hit him again. He starts pulling himself up, and you could see this, Tesh, and he's like, ah! And you could actually see blood dripping onto the damp floor, and he starts darting his eyes around, sniffing as much as possible, and
as
then
soon as he's up. Oh, okay. If he sees me, I'll wait.
his
to see
head kind of turns in your direction. Hey, you guys give me initiative rolls real quick. Because this is a who acts first, whereas that's like 6 seconds of a gone, stab. 6 seconds.
Do I get
gone,
my standoff?
stab.
Let me know if you want
Yes.
me to roll
You do.
initiative
Good.
as well.
Yes,
All
yeah,
of
yeah,
us
yeah.
do
Or,
initiative,
Yeah,
yeah?
cool.
I mean, I imagine Sonata's probably not going to do anything, but it's very much Tesh's matters.
Oop.
And this guy's.
How do
I
you
don't
get
know
a
which one I rolled.
0.18?
It's a bad
Oh.
option that he should have disabled.
Sorry, let me fix that.
It's for
I
fixing
actually just
eyes.
didn't even notice I had it.
It's
Sorry.
a Garbo
Here.
trash.
There you go. It's gone now.
What
It will
is
never
it?
appear there.
Basically, it
It's
puts
my
your
dex.
dex modifier after your thing to make it look more confusing and bad, so that you don't get ties.
Yeah.
I clicked them in the wrong order because the initiative roll happened right as I clicked, so it clicked the second. No, it's okay.
So
It's fine.
actually, because of the standoff, he smells you, kind of turns in your direction, tries to he stands up, and you're like, doof, 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 doof. He just falls to the ground. His head hits the bottom stair and cracks. And with the dripping of his brain fluids onto the ground, we're gonna take a break.
Oh, good. I have to pee really bad.
This guy doesn't have to anymore, because he's dead.